Hi, I'm Earl Ofari Hutchinson, and today I want to take a few minutes to discuss my new book, A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music. As you can see, a photocopy of the cover. And classical music is my world. As you can see, many books, albums, and of course, just really a library that really focuses on, in many ways, the beauty, the magnificence, the splendor of classical music. Why did I write A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music? I wrote it for two reasons. One, we keep hearing over and over again from many people, both young and old, classical music is a dead music. It's dead European guys, way back in the 19th, 18th, 17th century, and it has no meaning today. I said no, it has a great deal of meaning. Classical music is foundational to Western music and many other musical forms. A lot of young people, second motive, a lot of young people are turned off by it. My goal wasn't to convert anyone to classical music. It was to break classical music down in very simple terms. What's a concerto? What's a symphony? What's opera? What's a quintet? What's a trio? What's a sonata? So many of the musical forms and many of the musical terms that we hear about classical music, many of us are, oh, what are they saying? I don't know. Well, one of my goals was keep it simple, and make it enjoyable. So in A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music, I'm really big on one thing. Not only simplicity, but enjoying the music through the terminology. What are the instruments in an orchestra? What do they do? What is a composer? What's in his or her mind when they're composing a piece? What are the musical ideas that they're conveying? There's so many things about classical music that unfortunately remain a mystery to so many people. Well, one of the things I wanted to do, among other things, is clear up the fog, clear up the mystery, keep it simple, telling you, here's a symphony. Here's a concerto. Here's a quintet. Here's a trio. What is a sonata? What is exposition, recapitulation? What are notes? What are bars? But I break it down in very simple terms because I want it to be not only a learning experience, but a pleasurable experience. So, my motive in A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music and published by Middle Passage Press, we're going to be doing a lot of free readings on Amazon for the month of April, May, and June. So it's really another opportunity, as I see it, to really not only explain classical music in simple terms, a layperson's terms, but to share the enjoyment that I have had through the years with classical music. And as part of that enjoyment, I want to share it with you. A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music. And here's just a copy of the cover. A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music. My latest offering. It's the kind of book that I hope you enjoy, that I hope you learn from, but most importantly, really, just really that deep appreciation of classical music. And it's a music for not only that time, but also any time. And so when you really think about classical music, it's a music for the ages. And once again, A Young Person's Guide to Classical Music, my latest book. I'm Earl Ofari Hutchinson. Thank you for joining me today.